everybody in the internet, and welcome to the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Rainbows from Hell, yes, that's right, Rainbows from Hell was the name that was chosen by you, my 5 loyal viewers. Anyways, yeah, there wasn't a lot of voting this year, but hey, you know what? People are busy, and come on, Rainbows from Hell, that's gonna win. That's gotta win. It is the best after all, and I'm glad it did. So, tonight, oh my gosh, we're starting off on a rocky note, because I got out of work, and oh my god, stuff and things, and then I gotta be right back there in the morning. Yes, some people work weekends, unfortunately, but, so, I had some crazy plans, but instead, those will have to wait for another night. But tonight, I wanted to start off with an item that is really, really close and dear to my heart. A wonderful, wonderful series that has become a television show, and that is Ash versus Evil Dead. Yes, Ash versus Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead. You guys know I love Evil Dead. I did a video a couple years ago showing how much I loved Evil Dead, where I reenacted all kinds of that wonderful stuff. And also, Evil Dead 2, I believe, is my #1 all-time favorite horror movie. It is just so awesome. And so the television show is just so much more of that stuff. And as a fan and a nut for that show, or that movie, the show is just more of what I want. More of Bruce Campbell being Ash, being the anti-hero that he is, the wonderful one-liners, the crazy over-the-top violence. It is a spectacle. It is definitely more from the gory horror movie that was Evil Dead and into that sort of dark comedy, dark horror comedy that it is now. And so, what is it about? Well, after several decades of thinking that the Deadite problem has gone away, Ash has continued his life in the great state of Michigan, still working at looks like an electronic shop, but a retail establishment, and trying to pick up any female that he can find. And so, one night, he was wooing a woman, and they were maybe intoxicated with non-alcoholic items, i.e. drugs, and he decides to read her some poetry. Unfortunately, the poetry was reading from the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead, and of course it was an evil incantation to summon forth evil, and therefore the Deadites are back and with a vengeance, and now Ash has to go on a journey to find a way to undo what he's done before the entire world is engulfed with the darkness that is the Evil Dead. And joining him are his co-worker Pablo, who idolizes Ash and is kind of, haphazard, not entirely super self-confident, but this is his chance to become a man and to fight evil next to his protege, but next to the man he idolizes, and of course, the girl Kelly, who is sort of, Pablo kind of likes her, and she's kind of along for the ride after some things happen with her family. I'm not going to get into that because you need to watch all the wonderfulness, but anyways, they all team up to kick some Deadite ass, and my god, Deadite ass is kicked. It is great. There's also a story. Lucy Lawless plays a character who's sort of supernatural. You don't know exactly what she's doing. She's looking for the Necronomicon and has Ash's hand from Evil Dead 2 to help guide her away. There's also a state trooper who had her partner killed by the Deadites, and of course no one believes her, so she's sort of disgraced, and she's trying to get to the bottom of what the hell is going on, and thinks, of course, that Ash is the one responsible, which technically he is, but, you know, I mean, he's a stupid, lovable oaf, and a wise-ass, murderous bastard. Well, murderous as in he kills Deadites. He doesn't really murder regular people, but so it's kind of like a road trip series because they're on the road trying to get to this expert about demonology to see if they can undo it, and then go to another one in another place, and basically ultimately try to find a way to undo what Ash has done and to undo the stuff that Ash does to try to undo what Ash originally did because, you know, mistakes happen, and it's great. It's a wonderfully funny series, has everything that you love about Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. However, it's not perfect. There are some problems, and I would be remiss if I did not state them. And one of the things is that there is a lot of CG violence in here. And I know, that is usually the death knell. That is usually unforgivable. Because, like, this is a series. Evil Dead is a series that was built on their wonderfully nasty, gory, practical effects. Just buckets of blood, fire hoses of blood shooting everywhere, almost drowning your star because you're just pouring blood straight into their face and up their nose. But yes, they do use some CG, and I don't know if that's because of budgetary restraints, which is crazy because they're made by the low-budget gods. They can make these horribly gory things for not as much money as people would expect. However, maybe it's a studio thing. Maybe they just have to, but they mix it in because there are still practical effects, and they mix it in. And honestly, toward the end, you're not caring as much because you're just loving the story, you're loving the humor, you're loving the over-the-top nature of this series. And, of course, the violence, even if it is not always practical, is still crazy and insane. And I love it. It's a great show. Think of Scream Queens on steroids. I mean, literally steroids. Like, there's actually a little bit of nudity in here, which, you know me, I always appreciate some nice nudity. Not a lot, but still, they did it, and I give them props. Definitely the first time I realized when Ash drops the F-bomb that, oh my gosh, this is kind of a different series, because he never really said any profanity in the first three movies. However, with this one, yeah, it's unleashed. Ash unleashed. The Evil Dead unleashed. And I love it. I love it. It is definitely a show that could not be done on network television. And it's on Starz. And the new season number 2, is starting up, I believe, October 2nd, tomorrow, on Starz. If you actually have Starz on demand or the Sling TV app, this is not a sponsored video, you can actually see episodes before on demand right now. According to my brother who has Sling TV, and he says that. So, I mean, I'm like, ooh, oh, ah. So I can't wait for that. And I thought, let's start off with something big, something masterful, something awesome. That's Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's on Blu-ray and DVD right now. I suggest if you have not watched it, pick it up and watch it. You will binge watch it, and then you will be pissed off because you're like, no, I've got to wait all this time for more episodes? No! Yes! Unfortunately, unless you have Starz, then you can go watch the new season as it comes out, which is great. And I love it. You know, like I said, for any of you who are not familiar with that, but have enjoyed Scream Queens, this is a lot more hardcore than that show, but still kind of the same title. It is kind of satirical and funny and violent. Probably not as satirical as Scream Queens, but that same kind of thing. Horror comedy, dark horror comedy, and great, violent, gruesome, and full of awesomeness. Like, literally, if you love Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, it's just more of that stuff. It's like they're just injecting it, and, they're just injecting it right into the veins and just pumping it through, and it's just a great thing. I can't praise it enough. It is awesome. I love it. Ash versus Evil Dead. The Blu-ray has this wonderful color changing thing. It's really cool. I like the little black case, though it's still blue on the inside, but still love it. Great. It's awesome. And there you have it. Episode 1 of the 31 Nights of Hollywood Horror. Unfortunately, I would wish I could spend a little bit more time with you guys tonight. However, I've got to get this ball rolling with the rendering and stuff, and then wake up at 4:30 in the morning so I can go to work tomorrow and finish that, and then make video number 2, and hopefully do some of the crazier things that I've been planning. But until then, you guys on the internet, you stay scary. And also, I did recently pass the 10,000 subscriber mark, so I thank each and every one of you who've hit that subscribe button. It's like hitting like times 1,000. And now I am only 1/10 of the way to my 100,000 subscribers goal in that shiny YouTube play button, which probably won't exist by the time I get 100,000 subscribers, or YouTube won't exist, or I won't exist, or whatever. But anyways, until then, everyone, thank you, and remember the rainbows from hell, from the pits of darkness, almost like Dio song, like a rainbow in the dark. The rainbows from hell will continue on. You guys, stay scary, internet. Rah.